Hi everybody and welcome again to our course PowerApps from Zero to Hero. In this video we are going to look at how to add a gallery and how to customize this gallery with customer information. So let's get started. So let's continue working on our app. So let's go back to our screenshot. We already have worked on this top section and now we need to add the list of customers in the left section. So to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a gallery. We click on Insert, Gallery, and from the gallery we have different types that we can use. In this case we're gonna use a blank gallery. This is gonna be a blank vertical gallery. We are gonna put this control here. Okay, and we need to show the list of customers here. So to do that, we need to connect this app with the customer list. So let's go back to our SharePoint list and we see that we actually have a customer list already created. We see that we have the title to show the name of the customer and other fields like the industry, region, country, and other fields. So let's go back to our application. Let's click on data source and again search on SharePoint. We already have our recent sites, so we can select this site, and in this case we're gonna select customers and click on connect. Now we see that the customers list has been added as part of our data sources. So when I click here on connect to data, we can select customers. Okay, in the right panel we can see the properties for this gallery and we see that the data source selected is customers. So the next thing we need to do is to start adding our controls. So let's go back to our screenshot to see what controls do we need. We will need some labels to show the customer name, the title. Also there is this control to show the country flag. For this control we will use an image control. And the rest of data is gonna be labels. Actually we see also some icons that we will need to add. So let's start adding the labels, okay? And then we can change the look and feel. So I select the control, I click on label, and here we have our label. Let's add, in this case, a couple of labels for the top section. Okay. Let's select an image control. In this case, let's click on media and image. Okay, we have the image here, and we have one label for the customer name and one label for the industry. So let's customize the values from here. If we select this control, this label, and we go to the text property, we're gonna see that by default it has assigned the value of title. Okay? When we work on galleries, in order to specify the value of a field, we will need to use this item, point, and the name of the field. Okay? We will do the same for the second label. In this case, we are gonna use, instead of title, we are gonna use industry. Okay, and now we see the name of the customer and its industry. We are gonna change the image value later. Let's add more controls. We will need 5 labels for the title of the roles and 5 labels for the name of the person who will have those roles. Okay, so in total we will need to add 10 labels. So let's do that. Okay, I have 5 values here. On text we are gonna change that to the name of the roles. We can put this value in bold. So let's change that for the rest of the labels. Okay, now what we need to do is to add additional labels. Let's do the following. Let's just copy the existing labels. Ctrl C, select the gallery, Ctrl V, and now we have here 5 additional labels. And let's change its values. First of all, since it's in bold, we just need to leave this as normal. For the account executive, we will need to go to the text field and change that. Remember, we need to use this item and the field AE for the account executive. The same for the sales specialist. Let's go again to the text value, this item, and SS for the field that store the sales specialist. Okay, now it looks better. We actually have added all of the controls here. We need to add this section with some icons, so let's do that. In this case, I'm gonna add first a rectangle. So I go here, I click on rectangle. Remember that you need to select the control, the gallery control, in order to add this control between the gallery. So in this case, I select rectangle. Okay, the rectangle has been added. I'm gonna adjust the size of the rectangle, and then I'm gonna add some icons. In this case, I need to add these 3 icons. So again, let's select the gallery, let's go to icons, and let's start adding those icons. I need one for edit, another one for delete, and another one for view. I think those are okay. So we can put these controls here. Let's change the properties. Let's select these 3 icons and the size is gonna be, for example, 40. It could be 40 by 40. Okay, now those looks better. Maybe the color could be white. Okay, maybe the color of this rectangle could be similar to the color of the header rectangle. And remember that we could use again our template. So if we go to fill, we can use rectangle header UI point fill, and we just apply that fill. And we can start doing some adjustments also to the values here, right? Now you see that the size of the customer name and the industry could be larger, so we can select the customer name, select bold, we can select maybe 20. Okay, the size is better, and for the industry it could be maybe 16. Yeah, it looks better, and probably we will need to add a different font. Okay, now let's change the font of these labels. But instead of doing it control by control, let's again reuse the look and feel template screen. So if we go back to our look and feel template screen, there is no label control here. So let's copy one of the existing label controls that have the look and feel that we want. For example, this one, we can Control C, Control V. Let's change the text name to label UI, and let's change the name of this control. In this case, let's rename to LBL UI. Okay, so if we go back and we select all of these labels, let's start with some of these one. We can go to the font property and change this value to be LBL UI point font. And now all the fields have this value. Now, we need to change the value of the image control, right? So to do that, first we need to upload the images we are gonna use. So let's click on File, let's go to Media, let's select Images, and to upload images we need to click on Browse. And actually I have already downloaded some images that I wanna use. These are the country flags we can use here, for example. Let's click on Open, and we see that these images has particular names, right? So we're gonna use those names to show these pictures on the image control. So let's say that instead of the default value of the image property, which is sample image, we wanna show the flag for Argentina, for example. And now we see that the Argentina flag is showing here, right? But if we want to show the country flag corresponding to the country of this customer, we will need to use a condition. So let's click on this control, and instead of specifying this image, we're gonna say if, remember that the field name that store the country is country. So if country is equal to, let's specify, for example, Argentina, let's put the image Argentina. But if the country is, let's say, Brazil, let's use the flag of Brazil. So we will need to do the same for each of the countries that we are going to use in our application. So I have already configured all the conditions, as you can see here, and this is the final result. When we preview, we see all the flags depending on the country which each of the customers belongs. Okay, that was all for now. In my next video, we are going to continue customizing our customer gallery, and we are going to add a contact card. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe, comment and share this video with your friends. Hope to see you again. Bye!